Hey, what's up, Mafias? Welcome back to the commute. And in this podcast, I'm joined by Ishan. He works in Radius. It is basically a real estate based company. So, this will be some of the interesting talks around real estate based apps. Other than that, we'll be talking about personal finances. We'll be talking about how to get hired as an Android developer. So, there will be a lot to learn. I hope you guys really enjoy it. And if you do, you know what to do like, share, and subscribe. So, for now, let's get started. So, I usually start off this podcast by asking a very simple question. How do you define stable life for yourselves?
Stable life. Uh, for me, stable life is I think once someone is happy with what they're doing and happy with the stage they're at in their lives, I think they achieve stability.
Mm-hmm.
Once you're satisfied with life with whatever you're doing, you are sleeping a good sleep, and you don't have things to worry about when you wake up and things that trouble you before you sleep. I think that's stability for me.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so once you have achieved your goals and once you have reached a point in life where you think, yeah, this is what I wanted and this is what I'm comfortable with living for the rest of my life, I think that's stability.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Most of the, I think, employees tend to have the same definition of stability that um, they want some particular thing or reach a certain point in line so that they can be, have enough money to support their parents and support their living, their lifestyle. That's what I think
Yeah, so
most of the.
financial stability is a bit different. So financial stability depends on how your upbringing was, in what kind of family have you grown up in.
Mm-hmm.
So I think financial stability, its definition is different from different people. But if
Mm-hmm.
you talk about just stability, so yeah, obviously financial stability is a part of that, but I think it's more of a mental peace in mind at a
I
certain
agree.
point in life that you get. That affects your stability in life more than financial, because once you achieve something financially, you always wanna go higher and higher, and the rat race goes on from SD2 to 3 to 4 to engineering manager. So
Mm-hmm.
if your whole definition of stability is financial stability, then I think very few people get it,
Mm-hmm.
because the rat race goes on and on and on.
Mm-hmm. I
Yep.
agree. I agree. Um, so I actually wanted to know more about your story. Like, where did you start your Android development journey, and how did you get here in the Radius company?
My Android development journey started from my first year at college. So, in college, you have different clubs and chapters
Mm-hmm.
where you want to participate, you want to get a part of. For example, in my college, there were two which I really wanted to be in, and that were Coach Chef and IEEE VIT. So, I'm actually from VIT.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, so there are a lot of clubs and chapters, and since the population of the college is so high, it's really hard to get into a nice one. So, when I joined college, I was a very shy kid, and there were like two or three different categories where you can apply at while joining a club. So either a management side or a technical side.
Mm-hmm.
So I opted for the technical one, and there were different domains that you could get into. For
Mm-hmm.
example, if you had prior experience in web, then your chances of getting into the web team of that particular chapter were high. And I didn't know anything in tech in my first year at college. I was just enjoying college. So
Mm-hmm.
when the applications came out, I saw what technologies can I go after.
Mm-hmm.
And being from ICSC,
Mm-hmm.
we were taught Java for 4 years straight, from 9 to 12.
Mm-hmm.
So I was proficient enough in Java. So I thought, what could I do in Java? So there were options like, first of all, Android.
Mm-hmm.
Kotlin wasn't that much popular back then, and Java was the first language for Android dev. There was, Spring Boot and all. So I opted for Android. I started making a few apps, and yeah, I went into the interviews saying that I'm only proficient in Java, learning Android. So they gave me some tasks and stuff, and I got into the chapter finally. And because of those amazing mentors and people that I met there, my colleagues in the Android teams and all, I started
Mm-hmm.
loving this framework, starting loving this technology, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's where my journey began. I
Mm-hmm.
started working on more and more projects, got some internships, made
Mm-hmm.
some projects, went into a lot of hackathons, even
Mm-hmm.
won many of them. So yeah, that was the intro to how I fell in love with Android.
Yeah. the thing was, I guess this is everybody's story,
Mm.
and like how they got into Android development is just out of interest and out of curiosity. Like me specifically, I kind of have a different story, but because actually I started off as a web developer, then I got into game development, then I came to know that I can actually make games for Android as well. That's how I started to go into Android development. And yeah, I think most of the Android developers started because they wanted to develop some kind of application of their own in and release it in the Play Store, and that's how
Mm.
this most of the story goes. But yeah, I think VIT is famous in I think so good famous because of Varun Maya. How he got in? Do you know Varun Maya?
Unfortunately, no, I
No,
don't.
he's a basically he's an entrepreneur. He passed out from Vellore, and I think he has a lot of influence in that university, and a lot of people know about that university. I think because of him, because of the entrepreneur scene there. Yeah, but um,
Currently, most people know VIT because of like two of our colleagues and team members went into Shark Tank.
yeah,
Like,
I mean,
maybe,
the engineering culture in Vellore is really really nice, and that's what I've
mm,
heard.
yeah,
So.
because of the population, dude. Like, since you get a bunch of students every year,
Mhm.
so the possibility of getting bright ones increases by a lot.
Mm-hmm,
So yeah,
100%. You're the average of
and
the
that
five
was
people you
very
stay with. I think most of me especially, I kind of, if I would have changed something about me in my college days, would be to get much better people around me and in my friend group. That would have,
yeah, that
you know,
matters a lot.
yeah, 100%. It would definitely push someone out of their comfort zone and go
Mm.
into hackathons a lot. That's what I think so. Advice would be. Um, yeah. Other than that, what do you think about the future of Android as such? Like you're working in Radius, and I think so. It's a real estate-based company.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
it's
yeah,
you want me to talk about the company or answer your question first?
yeah. Both.
So yeah, talking about Radio, it's a real estate company. It's basically a online brokerage and a CRM software basically for brokerage teams where
Mm-hmm.
we sell our CRM software to US clients. So the product is client base is only in US,
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, we keep adding features for the reach. And our founder is Indian. He
Mm-hmm.
actually started a real estate company in India first, and then he moved into US and started
Mm-hmm.
a company there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and talking about future of, so the best thing about Radius is they give remote work. So I'm working from home.
100%. One of the best things.
Yeah. So I in my short career span, I have only worked for companies which offer remote work. I like working from home, working from hills, working from beaches.
Yeah. You're like just Kabira from Ye Jawani Diwali, right?
Not
That's what.
quite that, but yeah, I try to be. Everyone tries, I guess.
Yeah. Everybody wants to be that.
Yeah. So
Um.
yeah, and talking about the future of Android, I guess current like for the next at least 3 to 4 years, it's not going anywhere. Like
Mm-hmm.
AI is getting stronger and stronger, but I don't think AI can actually replace Android devs or even front end or back end devs. They
Mm-hmm.
can reduce the number of them, but I don't think it can ever replace them at least in the next 5 years. So yeah, there are jobs. Like there are more and more startups coming out every day, and
Mm-hmm.
most of the startups that come out have an app, either Android or iOS.
Yeah.
Yeah, Android is ripe, and like after the after Compose has taken over, it has been quite easy to learn as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like it's not going anywhere for the next at least 5 years. But if there's someone in college who is starting right from first year and wants to do Android,
Mm-hmm.
I think Android won't be the first thing I recommend.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's not like you won't have jobs for Android in the future or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. 100% I agree. Like Android is, I guess, if you're starting off when you're in college, Android is kind of tough to grasp because there's a lot more to Android than just languages.
Mm,
And yeah, I'd rather start off with web development, get some idea around how things work in and out of back end and front end, and then maybe switch to Android if you want to. But yeah, Android is kind of tough. And but yeah, with Compose, things have changed a bit.
Yeah, like it used to be tough, but
Yeah.
after Compose, it's actually comparable to, like, it's easier than Flutter. I am also learning
Yeah.
Flutter by the side, and I've even worked in backend. I've tried all technologies in my college. So I was a blockchain dev. I even made some games in Unity,
Mm-hmm.
and I also did backend. Flutter I'm learning right now, and Android. So earlier talking about just Java, then Android was the toughest thing. But after
Mm-hmm.
Compose, I think Android is one of the easiest like tech stacks to get into.
Mm-hmm. I agree, I agree. But that's the thing. Like with Compose, there's a lot of it's a very infant technology because I think there are a lot of drawbacks in how Compose works right now. But as the years pass by, it will become much more mature, like XML,
Yeah.
and it will become much stronger. And I guess by the time Compose becomes stronger, KMP and CMP would become even stronger, and then we'll be competing in the Kotlin multi-platform market. And if you have if you have a Mac with you, you can program two app at once, and maybe a website and maybe a desktop app as well. So that will be amazing stuff of the future, and that's what I hope. Like if Kotlin can do that, I don't know about Kate or backend, but yeah, I hopefully
Guitar is
front.
very good too.
Yeah, yeah,
That's,
I have kind of tried it, but not in a very professional way. I don't know
mm,
how professional Kate or backend is, but
mm.
have you tried it? Have you tried it yourself?
So I tried in one of my like self-made projects. I don't think it's even production ready yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like the developer community and all, I think still has a long way to go. I think even KMP has a long way to go.
Yeah, 100%.
Compose is already stable. Compose is production ready, and for
Mm-hmm.
I've been working with Compose for the last 2 years, and
Mm-hmm.
I think more and more companies are transitioning their code bases to Compose for
Compose,
the
yeah.
production apps. But
Mm-hmm.
KMP is something that people use for their like inner apps, like their
Mm-hmm.
home. For example, apps for their own use case within a company,
Mm-hmm.
but not for the main project.
Mm-hmm.
KMP still lacks some I was about to start my own company just a
Mm-hmm.
while back, and like still in development stage. I work on it out weekends with like some of my friends. So we were
Mm-hmm.
actually thinking of going for KMP because we needed an app and we didn't need
Mm-hmm.
two code bases. App wasn't that complex. We need camera and all.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to do try to do it in KMP, but
Mm-hmm.
the developer support and community isn't that strong for KMP yet.
Mm-hmm.
Compose, it's very strong. Like if you even get a simple bug in Compose, you just Google it, you get the Stack Overflow 5 answers at the top. But
Mm-hmm.
for KMP, it's not the case, and you still need a lot of boilerplate code for KMP.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of knowledge you need to know about Gradle and how Gradle builds the Android app. A lot of other things, even for native iOS. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it has a steeper learning curve than Compose KMP because of the
Mm-hmm.
configurations and all. So
Mm-hmm.
if someone is a newbie, it will
Mm-hmm.
KMP is gonna give them a hard time just configuring stuff before getting the project started.
Mm-hmm.
So I think yeah, it will become easier in a couple of years. But yeah,
Yeah,
Compose
yeah.
is really strong, and I think most companies should start transitioning to Compose.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like it reduces your code to like 100 line code to max 25 to 30 lines. And
Mm-hmm.
no XML anymore, only one kind of code,
Yeah,
100%
yeah,
Kotlin code base, no Java. I think it's the
yeah,
best thing that has happened to Android in the last 10 years.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I get I still think that Compose kind of gets a lot of hate on Twitter and somehow on LinkedIn. I don't know why, but it tends to get it.
Mm.
I think, but again, as the technology matures, it will go into production levels, and yeah, Compose is definitely the future. That's what I think works. Like you've talked about
Hmm.
your personal projects and starting a startup. Like, do you have any personal apps that are released on Play Store as of now?
While in college, I had a few apps that we released. So most of them were for our chapter. So
Mm-hmm.
the first app that I published was an app called Bookmark, where you can
Mm-hmm.
store links and like shareable links to websites, to social media apps, to post reels and all. You can
Mm-hmm.
store them in one place, categorize them. You'll get a
Mm-hmm.
live preview of them in a web view.
Mm-hmm.
So I configured the web view in a way that even if you haven't logged into the social media app, you can actually see the Instagram posts and Twitter feeds and even Reddit post in the web
Mhm.
view itself.
Mhm.
So, and the YouTube web view is pretty easy.
Mhm.
So yeah, that app actually got 1,000 downloads without any marketing. I think it's still live on Play Store. I don't check it up anymore.
Mhm.
Uh, some few apps that I created were, one of them was called Enigma. It was a cyber cryptic hunt. That was an event that we used to have every year.
Mhm.
And so the standout part of that app was its design. It was green and black, and I think it's still on Play Store. I'll share you the link of sometime.
Yeah,
It
sure,
was
sure.
for Enigma 7, and yeah, the design language of the app was something that made it really special. And we had around more than 1,000 participants from all over the world.
Mhm.
And yeah, that was my first production ready app, which needed proper architecture
Mhm.
and different API calls, different
Mhm.
SDKs. So yeah, that was a good learning experience. Other
Mhm.
than that, I created a app for my homegrown business. So my family business is into HVAC contracting.
Mhm.
So I made an app to like track our service people, our technicians, and assign work to them, assign service requests to them, and for customers to easily raise up service requests like they do in urban company.
Mhm.
Yeah, that app is still live on Play Store, and
Mhm.
that we're using in our city.
Mhm.
So yeah, these are some of the few apps. This app I made in Firebase.
Mhm.
Firebase is also really good for your own projects.
100%. I guess like Firebase, and I was thinking about Apprite as well. Apprite is pretty good if you're
Mhm.
thinking of a custom backend. And but yeah,
Have you heard about Superbase?
yeah, Superbase as well. Yeah, it's kind
Superbase,
of very close to how Firebase works.
Firebase, yeah, it's just cheaper and open
Yeah,
source.
100%, 100%. This is something interesting that you actually contributed to your own family business. And being very honest, I started this android development very similarly. I made
So,
an app for my dad as well. That's how I got it into app development, and I made the backend in Firebase as well.
yeah,
so
nice.
so yeah. uh what's your Do you want to talk about your startup, or is it some kind of stealth thing right now?
So currently stealth, but the least I can say that it's in the like finding jobs kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's little more than that. It's quite different from Naukri and LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we researched on it a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, in some time I think we will be having a landing page and the story behind it,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll be adding a waitlist to it in this or next month probably.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it revolves around this.
Sure, sure, sure. Let me know. I'll try to
So,
participate as well.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
100%.
exciting stuff because I've always loved people when they start off, and the people who try to do founding, go into entrepreneurship, because that's something that will create far more jobs than just reducing
Yeah.
the tax
And the
levels.
best thing about work from home is this only, like you have a lot of free time.
I
So
agree. I
there
think
was a
every company
concept,
should do it, but I don't know.
exactly. Yeah. Like some companies have started giving work from, like I really like Swiggy. Swiggy
Mm-hmm.
gives work from home. You
Mm-hmm.
just have to come to office once a quarter, and many other startups are giving work from home.
Mm-hmm.
And like the best thing about work from home is you save a lot of time that you can't if you are working in a city. For example, my first internship, not my first, after graduation, my first internship was in a company called Supershare. It was in
Mm-hmm.
Bangalore.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're going to office, right, and
Mm-hmm.
especially in a city like Bangalore,
Mm-hmm.
most of your time is wasted in traffic. And
100%.
even if you don't have much work, you have to stay in the office for the required timings.
Mhm.
And if I'm working from home, let's say I work that can be done in 2 hours, completed in
Mhm.
2 hours, then I have the day to myself.
Mhm. Mhm.
If your manager is nice, your company culture is nice, you don't have micromanagement,
Mhm.
and if the company is happy that you're doing your work on time, that you can
Mhm.
actually work on other things. You can travel, you
Mhm.
can read, and actually you can build other stuff
Mhm.
along the way. So I think that is the main perk of work from home and why I pursue only work from home.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think most developers are trying to go into work from home, just stay
Yeah,
away from the traffic lights.
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
I think the future would be as well, because I think most companies should be aware of that. But
Mm,
I don't know how they position themselves in such a way. I think it's mostly that companies were involving around internships and stuff where people do not know how to do PRs as of now, or they do not have that kind of code quality. They want them to come to the office so that they can learn from the seniors. But
mm.
yeah, as I think as of senior developers, I think remote work would be really really nice
Yeah.
for them.
So in large enterprise companies, your point is really valid because
Mm-hmm.
big companies hire in bulk
Mm-hmm.
and they have to train their new joinees to maintain the code standard and their practices, and also they need to come to office.
Mm-hmm.
But in startups where you already hire only skilled people and you have a small team,
Mm-hmm.
have faith that yeah, whatever they are working from office, they can work from home. And
Mm-hmm.
tech is an industry where you have to just code and push. You don't
Yeah.
have to interact with people like either in sales or marketing. Like you have to make presentations, have meetings, brainstorm. In tech,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to do all this. You can just
Mm-hmm.
stay at home comfortably, code nicely, and just push your code. Have regular meetings. Stand up every day works.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
That's nice. As of now, like, what's super exciting about Radius in a company? Does it like involve some really good engineering challenges that you've faced, or and how is the culture there? Like, what do you think?
So the best thing is that the team is young
Mm-hmm.
and team is really lively. My manager is really nice. He got married last year,
Oh.
and he's just like us. Sometimes he feels like a college friend. And
Mm-hmm.
another thing is the code is 100% Kotlin compose. Like
Mm-hmm.
if I had to write two things that were the best in my company, first was remote work, and second was 100% Kotlin and compose code.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I
I think
think
yeah.
these are the only two necessary things that I look out for while finding jobs:
Mm-hmm.
compose and remote work.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Um, 100% compose is really really nice, because I've seen struggle of um migrating Java legacy code into Kotlin. So
Yeah, dude, I have done that.
it's
It's
very,
nightmare.
yeah, it's 100% nightmare. And yeah, I think compose code is very really nice. Um, you have also delved into somewhere in the backend as well. If you yeah,
Yeah,
so
back in college for another college event only, we were making the backend for an event called Palette. It was a design hackathon where
mm-hmm,
people could like it was a replica of DevFolio, DevPost, if you know about it.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So yeah, we were in a team of three and we used Node and TypeScript. First we started Dino. It was
mm-hmm,
like this is around 3 to 4 years ago. Dino just came out. We were
mm-hmm,
having trouble setting up like Dino and low community support, so we transitioned back to Node with TypeScript.
mm-hmm,
So yeah, I think backend is also really fun. Like
mm-hmm,
sometimes while working on front end, right, you get bored. Like you
mm-hmm,
have to construct the same UIs again and again, and
mm-hmm,
sometimes it's grunt work when you're not
mm-hmm,
writing logic. In
mm-hmm,
backend, it's plain logic, only
mm-hmm,
database operations,
mm-hmm,
authentication, and different modules.
mm-hmm,
Purely logic, so you don't get bored while working on a backend.
mm-hmm.
Front
I
end,
agree.
so like if you are a design oriented person, then
Mm-hmm,
even making your UI pixel perfect is a fun thing to do.
mm-hmm,
But if you are a core programmer who
mm-hmm,
just wants to design frameworks or like design architectures, just write the pure logic and
mm-hmm,
best possible, then I think backend is a really good thing to do as well.
mm-hmm. Like, what's your advice on someone who is like kind of an Android lover, and should he start learning a little bit of backend as well while he's on his job, or just stick to Android, be good enough, then switch to maybe something else if they want to? What's your advice there?
So uh, I think so if someone is in college, they should try every technology that they can.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you don't try everything, you would know what works for you or what you're good at and what you enjoy doing.
Mm-hmm.
But if like talking from a neutral standpoint, if you don't want to choose between any domain, just
Mm-hmm.
do creative coding, learn data structures, and get the best
Mm-hmm.
package possible.
Mm-hmm.
Because the companies that are offering the highest packages don't even ask what domain are you into. They just
Mm-hmm.
uh, design. like system design questions,
Mhm.
medium to high lead code level questions, and you're good to go.
Mhm.
So yeah, for a
Mhm.
fresher who doesn't wanna try development once and just wanna get a good job, I think DSA and those things are too good to go. But
Mhm.
like if you wanna try out things in college, you have time and you have people around you who can take you to hackathons. You should try development and try different domains and
Mhm.
yeah, see if you are actually enjoying one of those domains. And if you are, then you should stick to it. Also,
Mhm.
it really helps a lot while you're starting up. So,
Mhm.
future, if you wanna start your own company or build a side project, then
Mhm.
if you have development experience in any of the domains, it helps a lot.
Mhm.
Because in enterprise companies, you don't know how to create things from scratch. You only know how to change stuff in a certain way that has
Mhm.
been built in. And the most of the time in enterprise companies, the frameworks they use are homegrown.
Mhm.
And if they are starting at the enterprise company, they won't know how to actually build something from scratch that is, you know, even an MVP
Mhm.
or an easy project.
Like I
Yeah, you.
understand. I understand like how it works.
Mm,
Mostly the companies have their own frameworks of how they are working in and out,
yeah,
and how the apps are working. But yeah, exploring most of the technologies and will give you an very good a starting point to actually get better off in your life, in your career. That's what
yeah.
my takeaway is. Um, like what's it like if you can give you one piece of advice to learn Android as such? Like I want to start Android right now. Like I'm a student somewhere in college and I want to start Android. Where should I start? I do not know. Give me advice. That's what my yeah.
So, yeah. In my time, there was a course called Nano Degree, Udacity.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the best course out there to
Mm-hmm.
learn Android or any technology in general. There
Mm-hmm.
was a nano degree course for even TensorFlow for AI. There
Mm-hmm.
was for Flutter. There was for Android, and I think that
Mm-hmm.
was the best course to get started with Android.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, today you can go to many coding channels on YouTube that teach
Mm-hmm.
really good stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
some of my favorites are Coding Inflow and Philip Lackner. If I
100%. Every guy learns from him.
Yeah, so my journey started with Coding Inflow. I used to
Yeah.
watch his playlist on creating a chatting app with Firebase,
Mm-hmm.
and I learned Compose using Philip
Philip
Lackner's channel.
Blackness. Yeah.
Yeah, he has a great playlist for Compose and even KMP.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you're following these two guys, you're good to go for Android. And if you get into any problem, they have their Discord and Slack channels where you can ask questions, and
Mm-hmm.
Stack Overflow is always there for you.
Yeah. 100%. I think most of the things will figure themselves out if you just start building projects. That's what my
Yeah,
takeaway is.
yeah,
I made the mistake previously that you know I need to do DSA, I need to do this, I need to do that. Instead, if I would have just focused on building projects and pouring them in the market and actually getting some results, it would have been 10 times better. And that's what my advice always is. Just start building something. That's way more advantageous than practicing medium level lead code questions.
yeah.
um that's the thing. Now, actually, I've run out of all my development related questions. I'm kind of go on a tangent here and actually ask around personal finances here. Um, like you do remote work, I think you will save a lot of money, a ton of money, just doing remote, because half of the salary goes into rents and travel and stupid shit that we eat out there. But yeah,
Yeah.
how do you divide your money? How do you invest? What's your thinking behind money? How's your division of your salary?
So first of all, like I am really blessed to have no financial pressure on me.
Mm-hmm.
I can spend all my money anywhere I want, and no one will like ever question me or something because I come from a business-oriented family. So,
Mm-hmm.
in UP, MSME businesses and
Mm-hmm.
homegrown family businesses, the
Mm-hmm.
family doesn't allow you to spend online money.
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah,
ask you to spend in cash.
yeah.
So while I'm at my home, I don't actually spend my salary at all.
Mm-hmm.
I usually, let's say I want to travel to a country.
Mhm.
or travel to a really nice place. That's the only part where I actually spend my salary. Other than
Mhm.
that, my daily expenses are
Mhm.
like there are no daily expenses. First of all, the only expense is like filling up my car tank every week.
Mhm.
Then that if I'm not traveling, then I have no expense. Like I go out once a week.
Mhm.
Let's say that is one of those expenses, filling up my car fuel tank.
Mhm.
And yeah, most of my salary, more than 80 to 90% of my salary goes into the stock market.
Mhm.
I invest
That's
heavily.
nice.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I invest almost all my money in the stock market. Currently, it's in a really bad time.
Yeah, 100%. I think the new budget came out, so
Yeah,
a lot of people are looking into it. I think the market fell right now. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just give me a
Mm,
second on that.
yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I invest most of my money in the market, and
Mm,
so yeah, currently my gains are a bit on the lower side, but
yeah.
yeah, I think Indian market is something that will really blow up in the future. It's already blowing up.
Yeah.
So
I think so that the Indian market is very small as compared to how other markets work, American and especially Tokyo ones. But it's the highest returning market as of
mm,
now, and I think so it will be the future. What's your investment strategy? How do you invest? Now, are you investing in index or particular stocks, mutual funds, debt funds? How are you investing?
so my thing is I research stocks. Whenever
Okay.
I get my salary,
Mm-hmm.
I research stocks for a day or two. I
Mm-hmm.
have some of my screens that I use every time.
Mm-hmm.
I learn about the company. I
Mm-hmm.
watch podcast of the company founders, see what how they are like and what's the vision.
Mm-hmm.
Look at company balance sheets and then select companies and invest in them. And
Mm-hmm.
I only try small cap to mid cap companies.
Mm-hmm. So you have a lot of small and mid cap companies, and you individually stocks. How many stocks do you own?
So currently I own around 15 to 20 stocks.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot, I know. And I've also started doing margin trading. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a new feature called MTF in the market now.
Mm-hmm.
So I invest 50% of my salary in that, 50% in my portfolio.
Mm-hmm. So you don't own any indexes as of now.
No, only stocks. Only
Okay.
stocks that I've researched on, mid cap to small cap.
That's interesting because
Yeah,
I
I
think the.
recommend this to like most people. So
Mm-hmm.
I have a very high risk appetite,
Mm-hmm.
so I can like do this. And
Mm-hmm.
most of my portfolio is in renewable energy
Mm-hmm.
because that is the thing I'm very sure about. That will not
Mm-hmm.
blow up. It's
Mm-hmm.
already giving me good returns.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, people should have their own strategy.
Mm-hmm. 100%. Stocks is one of the most riskiest things you can invest in,
Yeah. Mm,
and please invest the money that you don't need. So don't just invest life savings into that.
yeah.
I'd rather give them advice to go with an arbitrage fund if you are investing some kind of in life savings.
Yeah,
That
there
would.
are very nice mutual funds and ETFs in the market now.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the mutual funds last year gave more than 60% returns. I think Motilal Oswal.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Nasdaq one,
you don't
I
want to
think.
dive into the market, you don't want to learn about it. You can just put your money in a mutual fund and yep, it will grow a lot more than in normal FDs or RDs.
Mm-hmm. If you want to have fun with some kind of money, you can just take small amount of money and
Mm,
actually invest in small cap stocks. That would be just out of interest in how people do.
mm,
Um, but if you don't want to think about finances at all, I think so. Mutual funds and ETFs are the way to go.
mm.
Uh, how do you divide your, like, when you come to investing as such? Like, do you divide like small caps in a certain section, mid caps in a certain section? How do you divide these 2?
So I don't actually have a particular proportion for them. I
Mm-hmm.
just start researching stocks. In my screen, I usually search companies that are within the 2000 crore and 25,000 crore range.
Mm-hmm.
And whichever company is in a good industry, a
Mm-hmm.
growing field, and
Mm-hmm.
they are trading at a low PE,
Mm-hmm.
along with like good cash flow, good profit growth, and I check the shareholder pattern if FIIs or DIIs are buying this quarter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Based on that, make my decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Look at charts for a while. Like I did a course for technical analysis too while I was
Mm-hmm.
into trading.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to trade, but yeah, trading is not for me. So I'm
I
skipping
guess
those.
everyone realized that after a while that trading is not for me.
I apply some of the technical principles to my portfolio as well. If I am seeing a pattern that if a stock is gonna fall 100%, then I'm happy to sell it. I'm don't believe that you have to hold a stock for 10 years. You don't.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I do a couple swing trades every month.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I keep good check on the market. I read Economic Times daily. So
Mm-hmm.
stock market is something I'm really into. Not
Mm-hmm.
trading, but in general.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Like, how do you actually reiterate on your stock portfolio every 6 months, every 1 month? How do you look at that?
So yeah, I sold my whole portfolio when market touched 24,500.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I sold my portfolio at 26,000. Bought everything back again at 24,500. Now it's at
Mm-hmm.
23.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, when I'm seeing that now this is like this is a point where people will start selling. Like FIs and DIs will start selling. Market is overvalued and a bull run has been in the wind for a long time. Then I
Mm-hmm.
start selling.
Mm-hmm.
But if it takes a dip, I start averaging again.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought around 70% when the market hit 24,500 and
Mm-hmm.
kept averaging till 23,500.
Mm-hmm.
And it went below 23,500 and now I'm out of money. So
Mm-hmm.
I just look at my phone every day and like stay disappointed, but there's nothing. I
Yeah.
think it bounced back this month. It's
Mm-hmm.
already on the golden trend line.
Mm-hmm. Like, what's your like, if somebody wants to learn in how these stocks are, how can they screen particular stocks? That's what I'm asking. What's your advice on someone who just got their just imagine that this guy just got their first salary. It's not a lot, but it's something, and they kind of want to save some money and invest somewhere. What's your advice there?
So, like, if someone has a low risk appetite,
Hmm.
they can just put their money in the best mutual fund out there. Any of the large banks by ICICI or any large investing company, for example, Motilal Oswal or Nippon.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, if you have a medium to high risk appetite, you can actually start learning about stock market a bit because obviously it will help you in future.
Hmm.
Everyone should have some knowledge of stock market. In India, people have started learning about stock market a lot now.
Hmm.
I think 2 years back, the ratio, like the percentage of people investing in the market was around 5% of the whole population. In US,
Hmm.
it's around 50%, half of the
50%.
people
Yeah.
invest in the market. So yeah, my the principle that I rely on is Indian market is gonna go up because people are starting to put in their money,
Hmm.
and if the influx of money will keep increasing,
Hmm.
then market is bound to go up.
Hmm.
And based on the trajectory our country is on, like
Hmm.
people are willing to spend more now,
Hmm. Hmm.
and based on different and incredible startups that we have every year, the
Hmm.
India is on a good path. And that's why I
Hmm.
only stick to the Indian stock market. I don't invest
Hmm.
in US stocks or cryptocurrencies. I have faith on my country.
I think that Indian market is still infant because we don't have that many startups, and people who are spending a lot of money are still the 5% of the whole Indian
Yeah, it's
population.
relatively, if we compare India to other bigger nations like China and US are miles away,
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, we are still at a very low point.
Mm-hmm.
But if we are comparing India with India, then I
Hmm.
think we are growing really strongly.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I tend to agree there. One more question: do you have like do you invest in insurances as such, health insurance, life insurance? Do you have that?
So, like, my company gave me health and life insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So I have popped it up. Like, we can pop it up till around uh, like we can pop up our term insurance till about 1 crore. So I've
Mm-hmm.
done only that, nothing more than that. So there's a startup that actually does this job for startups, like having health insurances for a company's employees and their families. That startup is called Plum. I think it's a
Mm-hmm.
really good company and it's
Mm-hmm.
doing a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
It's
my
interesting.
to
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting stuff that we need to learn about. I think most of the Indian mindsets are that money is kind of a taboo, and people don't really go in and around stock market because they seem it to be like a very risky stuff. But yeah, it's super
Also,
interesting.
a very major point why people don't invest in the market is whatever you invest in the market is white money.
Yeah,
It is registered money.
100%.
And yeah,
So,
people are going like now they reduce the taxes as well, but yeah, in India, people have a habit of saving tax as much as they can.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, but given the incredible returns that a market has been giving for the last 5 to 6 years after COVID, people
Mm-hmm.
are actually getting into the market now.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think the market would be awesome, and we will see a lot of growth in the Indian market as well. These were all my questions, and if you have any advice while parting away, that would be nice.
So, like advice for budding Android devs will be like if you have made the decision to actually go through with Android as
Mm-hmm.
your career path,
Mm-hmm.
then first thing that you should focus on in Jetpack Compose.
Mm-hmm.
You should learn Jetpack Compose by heart, learn Kotlin by heart,
Mm-hmm.
and people are usually saying currently that the job market is a bit stiff now. You are
Mm-hmm.
not getting enough jobs, and it's difficult to crack internships at good companies.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was after college
Mm-hmm.
was I directly reach out to companies.
Mm-hmm.
I cold message company founders. I used to cold
Mm-hmm.
message company founders, their engineering managers, and
Mm-hmm.
even employees for referrals,
Mm-hmm.
and that gave me a good return.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, in during college, I did about 4 to 5 internships,
Mm-hmm.
and I got all of them through LinkedIn just by messaging the founders. And
Mm-hmm.
founders are really nice and kind people.
Mm-hmm.
HRs don't even reply to you.
Mm-hmm.
Founders do.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the startups I worked at, I had directly reached out to the founders. They set up an interview, and I got even
Mm-hmm.
at Radius. Radius is the first job I think that I got through LinkedIn by
Mm-hmm.
directly applying and not messaging anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you are looking for jobs, sit for 5 to 6 hours every day. Make a list of the funded startups in India
Mm-hmm.
and even in other countries that are offering remote work. Make a
Mm-hmm.
list of them and message at least 5 to 10 people every day for
Mm-hmm.
every company. And yeah, using this approach, I used to land around 3 to 4 interviews every week.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I would suggest everyone to actually go to office for at least 6 months to a year to like
Mm-hmm.
get a feel of an independent life in a new and metropolitan city. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's also an essential part of life that
Mm-hmm.
you should not miss out on, and then decide if you wanna stick with work from home, save your time, build something, or if you like the job life that the majority of people have in metropolitan cities.
Mm-hmm. I think so. It's a hustle culture that actually forces people to start their own startup and
Mm,
push towards remote work. But yeah, it's like going out of your comfort zone from your away
Yeah.
from your family. That's
The biggest
essential
advice
part
I
of
want to
life.
give is yeah, get out of your comfort zone
Mm,
because this is the age that we should be making our lives, not
mm,
being comfortable. We should yeah, use our time effectively,
mm,
and you know, people usually think that this is the time of their life where they can enjoy much,
mm,
but they don't apprehend that this is the time that will not come back, and this is the time they can make the most out of.
mm, mm,
So yeah, like enjoy for like a whole college life. People usually enjoy.
mm,
Just during placements, people work a bit hard, and then after getting a job, people usually never come out of their comfort zone.
mm,
So if you have a good risk appetite and
mm,
you are in your 20s, 23, 24, 25, then
mm.
yeah, they should get out of their comfort zone. Try to build something,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
yep,
100% agree. Yeah, thank you for actually coming on and giving the advice. This was an interesting and entertaining session. And yeah, thank you.
time. Thank you, Desh.
Yeah. Hello, hello. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. And if you did, you know what to do. Like and subscribe. And thank you for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.